Today we're going to discuss about boarding a merchant. Now, we've already, in previous videos, talked about your Manage Merchant section and actually setting up templates per product. Now let's combine all those aspects and actually go ahead and board a merchant. So if I choose Add a Merchant, I get two options here. Now I get to choose Board a New Merchant Account, and I'll choose that. And my other option is Add to an Existing Account. We'll choose that one a little bit later to show what that means, but just as a preview, that option is to allow you to board a transacting MID under an existing merchant account. One of the concepts that we have in this boarding platform is we want the user to clearly create or leverage the existing account nodes, so that we're starting to move away from this ACCT piece with our accounts. So here I'm going to go ahead and board a new merchant account. Now you see here I have a boarding package. We'll talk about that in detail, what those support a little bit later and in more detail in a different video. But if you have only a default boarding package, you actually won't even see this on the screen. And most portfolios will not have a more than one boarding package, so hence you won't see this on the screen. So let's save that for a different video. So I'm going to start, and what I'm doing in this instance is I'm creating the merchant account. So if I'm creating the merchant account of which the account belongs to the merchant, and maybe this is Keith's Coffee, and I'll create the organization ID of Keith's Coffee. I'll put some numbers after it because I've used this several times in the past. I'll select his MCC, so maybe he's a food organization. His website. His country, I can go beyond the United States. His phone number. The address. Postal code, the state and the city, and the contact. So for demo purposes, I'll just put name and a generic phone number, and name@name.com. So the business contact is the contact who's going to get the initial welcome email. However, and as we'll discuss in a later video, the boarding package can actually withhold the welcome email from going out. One of the things on our legacy boarding platform is folks would sometimes put a dummy email address in here in hopes that the welcome email would not go to merchants, and that doesn't have to be done anymore. You can actually always put the real contact in here and the welcome email won't go out. So when I click Save, I'm effectively creating the merchant account. Now, if we look at some diagrams that we've looked at the past, here what we can say is I'm the portfolio and I've created the merchant account. And then now my next step will be to create the transacting MID. So going back here, we can see that there's Keith's Coffee. And then our next question is hierarchy details. So every merchant has at least takes advantage of 3 levels of hierarchy. Just going back, 3 levels of hierarchy would be representative of portfolio, merchant account, and transacting MID. This option here is for our N-level hierarchy, and we'll talk about this also in a later video. But for what I'm going to have most portfolios do is to skip this option now. And then now I'm going to go into the transacting organization and add the products. So I'll click Start, and really again what I'm doing here is I'm going to create this transacting MID underneath this merchant account and add the products to it. So one of the things that we do here is the transacting MID also has organization information and along with address information. We carry down the organization name in the UI, and then from the organization ID, we take the account node and append a suffix of 001, and the next one will be 002 and 003, etc., etc. With both of these scenarios, If you're looking to update the organization name or ID before it's saved, you can absolutely do that. So maybe this transacting organization name is Keith's Cake and Coffee, and I'll add cake here. And you can update the entire value if you like. Additionally, if the transacting mid is going to have a different address on the account, maybe this is 456 State Street, that can also happen. Any one of these values can be updated as well. However, if you're satisfied with the suggestions and the carry down of the information of the account, there's no need to update the organization ID or name or go in and edit. Now let's add the products. Here in the products section, I'm going to add several of the products that we've configured from the template perspective. The first thing that I'll do is I'll add token management, and then it's going to take the default configuration. So if you remember, when I created the tokenization template, I had my initial default template. Now you'll see an edit button here, and that would mean if I wanted to select a different template. I would have a second template in the dropdown, and I could select that template. In this case, I'll cancel that, and I'll use my default template. Next, we'll configure the template for card processing. I'll tick enabled, and that will require configuration because I did not enter my mid and TID info. And while I click configure, my template will come right up. We can see here that in my template I would have had Visa, Master, American Express selected. Here I will enter the mid and the TID information. And then because I have the USD currency selected, I'll just scan down that automatically pops in. Now, in the event I wanted to select an additional currency, even beyond the template that was on the template, all I need to do is tick the currency I'm interested in, and you'll see the default mid and TID pop in there. Now, by me ticking that selection there or modifying anything on this page does not modify the original template. It's only modifying this merchant. Now, additionally, information like my batch group, my default auth type, level 3, and my MCC were all previously in the template here. Now, again, with any of these values here, I could tick relax ABS as an example, and again, it's just impacting this merchant, not the template. However, if your template is set such that you've got the majority of settings filled, you would just really need to enter the default mid and TID, and your card processing is set. Now, as I apply this, my card processing will be set, and really it is just ticking additional products here. So maybe my merchant's going to do invoicing. For payer authentication, I'll tick enabled. It's requiring configuration because if you remember during the template video for payer authentication, that will have my bins there. So you see it's pulling up my default template there. I've got some bins in there, and I will put the values in my Visa and MasterCard. And I'll go ahead and save that. And I will tick some additional products. Now we'll see, as I just ticked invoicing and recurring billing, those products do not have templates. Those are enable only, so that's why we only see those on the screen. But the rest of products like secure acceptance, virtual terminal, and fraud management essentials, I'll just enable. Now, fraud management essentials and decision manager cannot be on the same mid because they're two distinctly different products. Once I select fraud management essentials, if I'm a portfolio that also is distributing decision manager, that would be unavailable. Now, if I flipped it the other direction and when decision manager is enabled, then FME could not be enabled. Now, on the configure on the decision manager, again, thinking about the templating video for decision manager, if you remember, include and group will add the mid to the group that is on the account, but you want to ensure that the group is already set up. And then manage on own would be making the assumption that decision manager is going to be run on the mid for the queues and rules. And then reporting and transaction search are already enabled. So I'll go ahead and tick save there. And at this point, my products will hopefully be all configured. And then we can take a look at this merchant in more detail. So all my products are configured. Now notice payer auth is pending. Now what has gone on here is that call has gone out to our partner Cardinal, and I actually do expect this payer auth to be boarded by the time I immediately check the settings here. And when that is, and there it is, configured and boarded, now I can choose modify on the payer auth, and I get to see by clicking next, I get to see the cruise credentials, and I can download this. The merchant sees the right side of this page, as do I, the portfolio, so I can assist the merchant by ticking download credentials. And I do see that Visa and MasterCard, based off when I boarded that merchant, is boarded. I can always come back and enable something like MasterCard at a later date, but MasterCard is not set up in my template, so I'm not going to add that information in at this time. I'll click done. So my products are boarded, and that will conclude this video of initial boarding. We'll do another video about updating a merchant on day 2 or day X for additional products. Thank you.